Welcome to Mr. V Teaching Math. In this session, we're continuing to look at adding and subtracting fractions, but now we're going to be doing it with mixed numbers. Now, you're going to notice already that the denominators of the fractions are the same. That makes this fairly easy. Now, let me show you a little trick that one of my fellow teachers taught me, Mr. K, and I wish someone had taught it to me years ago. A lot of the questions you're going to see in your book are going to be written like this. But it's so much easier if you rewrite them like this. You've got the fractions lined up, you've got the numbers lined up. Especially when you get to subtraction. Do it this way. It makes the work so much easier. So I add the fifths. 2/5 plus 1/5 is 3/5. Remember? There's my 2/5. There's my 1/5. I add them together, and I've got 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. And there's your answer. Now, it gets a little harder once you're subtracting. And now you're going to see why I want you to rewrite the questions like this. I have 3/5. I have to take away 4/5. That's a problem. I don't have 4. So now we're going to use skills that you have learned a long time ago in other places and in other parts of what you do in math class. We're going to borrow. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to borrow 1 whole. And I'm going to borrow 1 whole and break it up into 5 pieces. There. There's my whole one that I just borrowed. How many eighths do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have, fifths. How many fifths? I have 8 fifths. And now I can subtract. 8 minus 4 is 4/5. 4 minus 2 is 2. This is one of the key reasons that rewriting a question like this is so much easier than leaving it that way. By putting it in this way, you can see that it uses the exact same borrowing techniques that we've used when we were doing it with decimals and when you were doing borrowing even before that. A few more examples. Now it gets a little harder. The bases are not the same. I cannot add until the bases are the same. So again, look for the least common multiple, and let's convert them. 2 and 3, the least common multiple is 6. So I'm going to be timesing this by 2, and I'll be timesing this by 3. And then I'm going to rewrite the question, because I have to rewrite it anyways, and I'm going to flip them around. So this one, 3, and I'm doing 2 times 2 is 4/6. And I'm adding 1. I'm multiplying here. 3, 2 times 3, over 6. And I add. I get 4 plus 3 is 7/6. 3 plus 1 is 4. However, I'm not done this question. Again, this is similar to what you've done with adding before. I have to carry. Because there's a whole one here. How many whole ones? How many times does 6 go into 7? It goes in 1 whole time. And how much do I have left over? If I take 6 pieces out, if you want to see what I'm talking about, here are some nice little plastic things that I can show you exactly what I'm doing. Here are 7/6. And 1 whole. See, I'm going to take the whole, and I'm left over with 1/6. So I'm carrying this over. There's my whole heading over to here. So it's going to be 5 and 1/6. Because I took the whole out of here and went over to there. Next example. Now I'm subtracting. Now, the bases are not the same, so I have to find the lowest common multiple. Yes, I could go over here and times this by 6 and times this by 8, and I could do the work, but that's not the lowest common multiple because the lowest common multiple is 24. 3 times 8 gives me 24, 4 times 6 gives me 24. Now I'm going to rewrite the question again. So I've got 3, and 3 times 4 is 12 over 24. I'm subtracting 1, and 7 times 3 is 21 over 24. Now, I want to subtract 21 from 12. Again, I don't have enough. I'm going to have to go next door to my neighbor's house and borrow some. Now, if I take one whole one and break it up into 24 pieces, I get 24 more pieces. So I have 24 plus the existing 12. I'm going to have 36 total pieces because I just added 24 more pieces. Now I can take the 21 and subtract it from 36, which leaves me with 15 24ths. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Do double check again. Is this in lowest terms? Can I go any lower? Neither of these is prime. Now you need to use your divisibility rules. 15 is divisible by 3. 24 is divisible by 3. Gives me 5/8. That is how to do adding and subtracting of fractions with mixed numerals.